What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and today we're going to be talking about some of the challenges that small businesses are facing. So if you saw that thumbnail, probably seemed like clickbait, but it's actually a legitimate thing. So essentially, we'll get into it deeper in this video, but potentially as many as 250,000 businesses in Canada may shut down because of COVID-19 and lockdown, and that may cost as many as 3 million jobs. So again, these are estimates. We'll get into the sources and all the details in a second. But that wasn't actually clickbait. There is actually a study behind that, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a second. So are you a small business owner currently struggling to update or adapt your business to COVID-19? Because I can emphasize with that, it's been a rocky road and certainly a roller coaster at times here, just with the different businesses we have, because each business is uniquely impacted. And in today's video, we're actually going to be covering some of those businesses that are uniquely impacted and some of the cool little problems or profit solutions that they're coming together in regards to finding a way to stay in business. Specifically, if you're a hairdresser or a hairdresser, you're definitely going to want to hear one of the stories we're going to be talking about today, where maybe you take your hair salon and turn it into an auditioning salon, but you essentially do still just haircuts. So again, really excited to cover that because I love the problems or profits mentality that clearly led towards that sort of thinking. As well, understand that the Canadian that potentially as many as 239,000 Canadian businesses may close down according to a study from the CFIB, and we'll get deeper into all that information in a second. And then finally, again, we're going to talk about that hairstylist and their unique solution to solving the issue of lockdown. So the first story we want to cover today comes from the CBC, and it's really no secret that small businesses are having a difficult time with COVID-19. There's been a couple programs come out to try and help both landlords and small businesses to navigate these difficult times. But really, it's been difficult to stay on top of all the different rules and protocols and requirements because they're almost changing every goddamn day. And it's very frustrating as a small business owner to every day have to give a speech to your team members and be like, guys, I double checked. I'm pretty sure we're still legally allowed to be in business. So please go do your work. But if you get caught by the Gestapo or whatever, use this screenshot in order to be allowed to continue to do business. Because again, it's difficult. Is wholesaling real estate considered an essential function? I'm sure that some people will hate on us for thinking it is, but real estate sales are. If people are finding themselves in financial constraints, financial problems right now, or just unique challenges, and they want to sell their properties, it's important that they have as many options available to them. So again, I'd love to hear your perspective. What are your thoughts? And has your business been impacted due to some of these lockdown or restrictions? If your business has been shut down or you've had to pause business or let people go, let us know what industry or ideally exactly the business that you're operating. And, have you been able to find any workarounds, or has anyone in your industry or business niche been able to find workarounds like the hairstylist we're going to mention in a second? But finally, again, we're paying close attention to what the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, that's the CFIB, is saying in regards to what's going on. And so specifically, the CFIB ran a study in January 2021 from January 12th to the 16th. And results helped the CFIB forecast that 181,000 or 1 in 6 Canadian small business owners are actively considering bankruptcy or winding down their businesses as a result of COVID-19. 1 in 6 small business owners in Canada are thinking about shutting down their business because of COVID-19. That is massive. That's a huge problem, but it also does represent a huge profit or opportunity for us. I mean, I've been talking to my wholesalers for a while about my dreams of starting a We Buy Businesses business. And I think that, originally I assumed that the reason that business would succeed was just because of baby boomers wanting to retire and not having a succession plan in place in regards to what the next generation is going to do with the business. However, COVID-19 has really expedited my timelines because, again, 181,000 businesses might close down or declare bankruptcy because of what's currently going on. And then this total is in addition to the previously published data that revealed 58,000 businesses went inactive in 2020. So we're predicting another 181,000 businesses may go out of business in 2021 because of what's currently going on. But there's already 58,000 businesses that are inactive. And again, that's essentially what I think 1 in 18 small businesses in Canada have already shut down or went inactive because of what's going on with COVID-19. So it's important that we pay attention to this because, again, it could be impacting your business But it could also be presenting a new profit opportunity for us as individuals. And that's really why we talk so much about problems and profits. Is it's an entire mindset. And it's important that you adapt this mindset, because there's a lot of people right now losing in life when, if they were to have a mental shift, they could probably get control at least of certain aspects of their life. Again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying there's a silver bullet solution, but we need to focus on controlling what we can control. And so if there's a way to take your business and pivot and turn it into an essential business where maybe previously it was deemed inessential, that's extremely valuable for you as a business owner. It might mean you can keep your employees employed. And again, people think that pausing a business or going inactive is a simple thing. Understand that businesses are losing massive amounts of talent because they have to pause the employment. And those people are going to go look for other opportunities. And this represents huge risks to a lot of established businesses. If you're not preparing to pivot, you will get run over eventually, because again, I've talked about it before, but it seems like all this stuff could be here a lot longer than you're probably predicting. Hell, I'm willing to bet it's already been a lot longer than a lot of us were predicting back on March 15th or March 31st. So I think it's really naive for you to not be planning and preparing as a small business owner on how you can pivot, how you can take control. So focus on what you've got control over, so that you're not one of these potentially 239,000 businesses that may shutter because of what's going on with COVID-19. And understand, we're not just, playing a violin for these business owners. They also employ people. So the CFIB is predicting anywhere from 962,000 to 2,951,000 jobs may just disappear like that because of COVID-19 and this pandemic. And the mid-range estimate sits at 2.4 million jobs. So understand the mid-range is actually on the high end of the entire range. So that 962,000 is like really rainbows and sunshine sort of predictions. And so when we're looking at that mid-range job forecast, that total represents 20% of private jobs, or 13% of all employment in Canada. You guys freaking out in the comments yet? 13% of all jobs in Canada potentially are at risk, based upon the mid-range estimates from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. Now, again, I don't know in depth their survey methodology, but if there's even an ounce of truth to this, this is wildly concerning for you if you're a small business owner. But again, there are opportunities available here for us to potentially take advantage of, because you can either be a victim or you can try and survive what's currently going on. And understand, when we're looking at that mid-range, the top three provinces that are going to be impacted are Ontario with an estimated 873,000 jobs, Alberta with an estimated 624,000 jobs, and British Columbia with 300,000 jobs. So one thing that's interesting here is it seems like Quebec's not being hit nearly as hard as its other, population dense provinces. So that's really interesting. And I'd love to hear your theories on why you think Quebec maybe is going to be hit less, or did they just not respond to the survey? Maybe because it was in English. But as for industries, the hospitality sector could be hit hardest. This really doesn't come as a big surprise, in my opinion. 272,000 jobs up to 676,000 jobs across Canada. And CFIB quotes Simon Godrout, CFIB's Senior Director of National Research, provided the following statement to the CBC. "We are not headed in the right direction. And each week that passes without improvement on the business front pushes more owners to make that final decision. The more businesses that disappear, the more jobs we will lose, and the harder it will be for the economy to recover." Seems like a pretty simple statement to me. It makes a lot of sense. And, Laura Jones, Executive Vice President of the CFIB, added, "The beginning of 2021 feels more like the fifth quarter of 2020 than a new year." And sadly, I 100% agree with that. This is 2020 written all over again. It's just getting started earlier this year. That's really the only difference. And it's going to become as much or more of a struggle, I suspect, for small business owners. A lot of us dipped into savings when the first lockdown happened. How long and how far can those savings last you? Is a really important question that a lot of small business owners are being faced with these days. And this is, you constantly see these support local campaigns and things of that nature. It is really important. If you guys patronized, businesses pre-COVID, if you want to hope that they're going to be there post-COVID, you might have to hit them up on Uber Eats or skip the dishes or go to their online stores and start participating, even if it's slightly more expensive than buying it off of Amazon, if you want to see that store in your community once we come out of this quarantine. assuming we do. So anyways, let's move on to a better story or a funner story to touch upon, and that's the hairstylist story. And a hairstylist taking a profits mentality when they were faced with a problem. And so, as this frightening information rolls in for small business owners, a few of them are really taking control of the situation. So Alyssa Herter owns and operates the Chrome Artist Barber in St. Catharines, Ontario. Recently, she remodeled her salon to make it a film and television production studio, outfitted the salon with cameras, lights, and audio equipment, and she is technically taking haircut appointments, but instead classifying them as auditions. And so the Chrome Artistic Barber website notes that during a person's haircut, neck shave, blow dry, and style session, the parties involved will be discussing life, its ups and downs, and all in between. And so the audition will be recorded for the intent, if chosen, to later use in a podcast or documentary format. This is fucking genius. So right now, I don't care what business owner you are, pivot your business model into television and film, because apparently that's an essential industry. So as long as you're filming people, thank God we're filming right now, or else this would probably be illegal. It's really important that you understand the rules and you work within them, because they're constantly changing the rules. And if you want to win at this game, you're going to have to pivot hard and fast. So literally, if you're like, this isn't the case right now. Actually, it is the case. So all residential construction projects have been paused if they weren't started as of January 12th or 14th, if I remember correctly. Understand, you potentially could decide that you're actually in the filming industry in regards to the renovations. As long as you've got a film crew there, film crew could be your guy swinging the hammers as well with their cell phones taking selfie videos. That would literally be on the right side based upon current interpretations of the rules. Now, don't get me wrong, the government will absolutely crack down on this and make it difficult for small content creators while giving a pass to massively large content creators, because that's just the way the game's played. But we constantly need to play within the rules they set for us and pivot hard when given the opportunity and take advantage of whatever advantages are available to us, because you're still a wartime CEO, whether you like it. That was one of the first things that came out on my YouTube channel. When we realized this pandemic shit was here to stay, wartime CEO shit. You need to do whatever it takes to keep your business and your employees employed, because no one else is going to take care of you. That's for goddamn sure. So anyways, building upon this, I just love this concept. And no doubt she's going to get cracked down on, and it's total bullshit. But I love the fact that news outlets are picking up on this and hopefully inspiring a whole crop of entrepreneurs and business owners to be able to take advantage of these opportunities so that they can stay in business. So under Ontario's current province-wide declaration of emergency and stay-at-home order is stated, personal service settings, including hair salons, barbershops, nail salons, and tattoo parlors must close. However, film and television productions have been allowed to keep operating. It would seem Herter is hopeful that she has found the loophole. And according to reports, when individuals arrive for auditions, they have to sign a talent release form. So you guys should be taking notes if you're a small business owner. Participate in a COVID-19 screening test and wash hands prior to arrival. Building upon this, if you guys want, we've got a link in the video description down below to the filmsafety.ca website that's going to lay out all the requirements if you're going to pivot your business into film and production. And honestly, you probably should make a podcast of what you fucking do already. And now all of a sudden, you're probably on the right side of the law. This is silly, but when they ask you for your papers, please, at least have an argument to stand on when you're operating your business. And the Toronto Sun has also picked this up. And so in a video shared by the Toronto Sun, you can see Herter and her clients not wearing masks or being a safe distance during a haircut or audition. Now, again, when you read through the rules, it's okay to be on film without a mask, and it's okay to not be safely distanced, because entertainment's a crucial service, whereas the small business owner wanting to do haircuts and nail salon or tattoos obviously can't, regardless of the safety precautions that they're willing to implement in their business. So again, this is a 45-page document. If you guys want to check it out, I encourage you to do it, but I encourage you first just to stay in business. So do what you need to do. And then again, talking about those COVID-19 safety guidelines for the film and television industry, it would be, building upon this, understand the protocols are that, if possible, performers being styled should wear an appropriate face covering. Persons who provide hair and makeup services must wear appropriate personal protective equipment, surgical procedure masks and face shields. And local authorities are also aware of the situation. So again, I have no doubt the city of St. Catharines will boot stomp this creative entrepreneur, because that's what we do in current society. But, what they're currently saying is, we appreciate that these are challenging times. However, businesses that do not comply with the provincial orders and regulations will be investigated and can anticipate consequences. Yeah. I say, like, there'll eventually just be a class action suit here where all small businesses will lawyer up and give a big middle finger to the big government and their essentially just willingness to allow big businesses to stay in business, but crush us small owners. So meanwhile, Niagara Regional Public Health told CTV, our staff are working in close collaboration with our counterparts in the city of St. Catharines and other agencies to ensure we continue to enforce the Provincial Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act and the Reopening Ontario Act, which is really ironic because they are not reopening Ontario in any way. So this is literally like Big Brother shit, 1984, white is black, black is white. You know, reopening means we're shutting down under quarantine and lockdown. Like, it's just such bullshit, and it's so frustrating as a small business owner. And I'm very thankful that my businesses have been able to pivot and make the most of these situations and survive. But my heart really does go out, and I empathize with you small business owners that have had to or will have to make those difficult decisions. So what I love is Herder's responses here to city officials. So she said, I will continue to operate, and, you know, she'll take the fines if they try and fine her. And you're telling me Walmart can sell bananas that 17 people have touched, but I'm not allowed to operate. It's morally wrong. You can't expect us to shut down. So completely agree with Herter there. And it's really frustrating as a small business owner. So I really want to encourage you guys, read through the rules and become an expert at them and use them to your advantage. This is literally the matrix at this point. So you just need to be able to read the matrix better than the bots and be able to stand behind your commitment to it and really just have that paperwork ready, right? Like, take screenshots showing exactly what business and industry you're in. If you need to update on the CRA's website, what business industry you're in, right? Like, if we update our tax returns and say that we're in the film and television industry, I think that that's one more step towards an argument that we're committed to these pivots and we're going to stay fucking in business, because fuck you. So that's my humble opinion. This is a two-way conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, it's a subject matter I'm a little bit hot on because it just seems wildly frustrating at this day and age to still be in these situations. So before we wrap up, I am going to quickly check a couple of the comments in the comment section. Really appreciate all those of you that are commenting, that are sharing, that are liking these videos, because like I mentioned, this is a 30-day experiment. We're already 1 week into it. So we've only got 3 weeks left. It's up to you guys to decide whether I continue making these videos. So your views, your likes, your comments, and your sharing will literally dictate whether this show stays on the air. So I appreciate those of you supporting us. And let's check out a couple of these comments. So, are you looking into buying businesses that are closing? Absolutely. Right now, I saw, was it the Los Fomos brewery up in Bruce or Gray County? It's recently went into bankruptcy. The company that did the Red Baron beers, they've got maybe a dozen or a dozen and a half different brands under their IP. You know, $4.5 million to be able to buy that entire brewery. That's interesting. Again, I'm not in the position right now where I want to take on more businesses. I need to really make sure I get my existing businesses under control and get them ready to scale. But once we're ready, I really do look towards acquiring additional businesses. And what I'm hoping is that, having built the social media company that I'm doing, we'll have a great platform to really take a lot of great ideas, brands that are being executed well, and just bring a lot of attention to them and really be able to scale effectively because of that. This may be a little controversial, but legit, what Kylie Jenner's done is fascinating to me. So I've talked about this on a few live streams in the past, but I really think of this concept of, if you're an exceptional influencer and you've got an exceptional brand, you can take a mediocre product, slap your exceptional brand on it, and boom, you've now got an exceptional product and exceptional demand for that product. So that's what we're trying to do in a microcosm here in Canada. It's the reason that building the social media business is so important to my long-term plans. And I'm wildly excited by the idea of being able to buy up a bunch of these businesses, and like, not the sexy businesses everyone wants. Like, I want to buy like the 3 biggest scrap metal, lots in one county, and, get scales of efficiency and really ramp that up, right? Like, I'm looking to take weird business niches into weird directions, but I see unlimited opportunities. And it really does come down to that problems or profits mentality. Appreciate everyone else in the comments. We'll grab one more here. So when it becomes too popular, they will find something to eliminate the niche as well, I'm sure. Absolutely, Benjamin. But again, we got to get while the getting's good. So put your oxygen mask on while they're still allowing you to do so, because at some point in time, we know that they'll make that illegal as well. So really appreciate everyone sharing their thoughts, their perspectives. And as always, sharing is caring. So please share this. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe. We're doing this every day around 12:15-ish live on my YouTube channel. And we've got a second video coming up for you in just a second on iBuyers that you're not going to want to miss. So are you curious about institutional buyers and those companies that will buy your house sight unseen? The big companies that are buying based upon algorithms? That's going to be the next video coming up to you in the next 5-10 minutes. Thanks, guys.